Yes, yes. Right, which we all know.
Whoa, that big.
I know wonder, I still can't find the spot close to the door, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. Well, it's excited for your announcement today. Michelle Wilderness Park. Oh, okay. Same person though. Okay.
We also
You
should
guys-
land in that area.
Of course you have. Okay. Well, that's exciting. Well, so that you know, you don't have to keep the right people that know where I know all the secrets are, right? Bring them into the camp. Yep. And are you guys both based here? Okay, cool. I know that sometimes you might be well.
The office is actually
You're in Dartmouth too. And you've been with them for a long time? You afraid to tell me how long? Oh, you were like 6 when you started, that kind of thing? Yeah? And how long have you been with them?
I'm a volunteer, so I'm a chair.
Okay.
I'm a lawyer.
So you're a lawyer out of who?
What's that?
Who do you lawyer with?
I'm a Guinness Cooper.
Institute for. And you say you have a business as well?
Yeah, Wilson's Pool, Wilson's Security, Wilson's.
You guys that send oil to my house?
Yeah.
Yeah, I work with you, or I guess I'm paying you somewhere.
Yeah.
My wife does anyway. She puts oil in the tank. Regular.
Popeyes.
So you got that crazy law that's there?
Yeah, that's us.
We actually used that in our state municipality a couple of years ago when we were talking about how far the lineups were and sneaking through lanes and everything.
I think it was everybody was a little shocked by how much people were
Interested in Popeye's chicken.
chicken. No, I didn't expect it to be busy.
It's not that crazy.
I mean, personally, I would not wait in line that long for some chicken. Like, I would just wait and then go get it a little later.
Right, right. I can wait a couple of weeks or whatever. Just the guys now. That's awesome. So you guys need to take some of the sailing the week?
I was there, yeah, both days. Yeah, it was incredible.
So you know what I love is that view over the
No, actually,
what you guys do you think?
yeah, this pleasure meeting you.
Yeah. See you again. Chat soon.
Nice to meet you in person.
I mean, we spent a lot of time on Zoom call, Teams call.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I actually do know that.
Yeah, okay.
I've been to enough events now. I kind of recognize all the yeah.
Welcome and thank you for joining the Nova Scotia Nature Trust today to mark a momentous milestone for nature in Nova Scotia. A warm welcome and thanks to our distinguished guests and speakers, the Honourable Minister of Environment and Climate Change, Tim Holman, Halifax Mayor Mike Savage, and the President of Michelin Canada, Andrew Much. We also wish to acknowledge the many other members of the Legislative Assembly and municipal councillors who have kindly joined us today. Such diverse representation is a wonderful testament to the universal and uniting nature of nature conservation. My name is Chris Wilson, and I have the honor of serving as chair of the Nova Scotia Nature Trust Board of Directors. This is an organization driven by boundless passion for nature and inspiring ambition to make a difference in protecting the natural world. The Nature Trust is a leader in the Canadian conservation sector with a long history of national conservation firsts, groundbreaking achievements, and innovation. And today, we continue that tradition, announcing the Nature Trust's largest conservation achievement ever, and an important contribution to national and provincial conservation targets. To share that news, I'd like to introduce the Nature Trust Executive Director, Bonnie Sutherland. Bonnie?
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome, Upchilidach. We're happy to be here and so grateful to be living and to be protecting land in the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq. We're thankful for their care of Mi'kma'ki as the original and ongoing guardians of these lands. The Nature Trust is committing to building relationships with the Mi'kmaq grounded in respect, in Mi'kmaq ways of knowing, and in Eduabdamunk, Tuaid Seeing, to advancing meaningful reconciliation and to supporting and celebrating Mi'kmaq-led conservation. The Nature Trust has been protecting our province's most unique and outstanding natural areas since 1994, achieving an impressive track record in saving and stewarding our most treasured wild places. But in recent years, our world has changed dramatically. The dual environmental crises of biodiversity loss and climate change are accelerating. The impacts are real and devastating. The unprecedented fires and floods and storms have left an indelible mark here. We see essential habitat being destroyed, landscape fragmented, and species lost. The alarm has sounded. There's been across the globe a call to immediate, urgent action for nature, to save more land more quickly before it's too late. And we know that protecting land is one of the most important and tangible ways that we can take action for biodiversity and to create nature-based solutions for climate change. And here in Nova Scotia, with so much land in private ownership, over 70%, over 85% of our coast, and so much of our biodiversity concentrated on those private lands, we know that the Nature Trust's unique contribution is absolutely critical. Nature needs us to do more and to do more quickly, and so the Nova Scotia Nature Trust has heeded that global call to action. In 2020, the Nature Trust stepped up with a bold commitment to double the space we protect for nature in just a few years. It was a campaign to protect twice the wild. It was considered by many to be an audacious goal. It took us 25 years to protect the first 15,000 acres, and we plan to replicate that work in just a few years. We committed to protect 30,000 acres of our most outstanding and imperiled natural areas by 2025. And today we mark two very exciting milestones. First, the Nature Trust has just secured one of our largest protected areas ever, the stunning Barren Island. At 760 acres, this eastern shore island is one of our last large ecologically intact coastal islands. It harbors irreplaceable coastal ecosystems, critical refuge for birds, and extends an incredible coastal archipelago on the eastern shore. It's a fantastic win for our coast. And we are thrilled to announce that in protecting Barren Island, we have officially reached twice the wild. So thanks to all of our partners here today and to incredible landowners who partnered with us and all of our campaign donors, we have saved twice the space for nature in Nova Scotia. It's 30,000 acres protected forever, protected for nature, and protected for Nova Scotians to enjoy. An exciting early success was the Blue Mountain Wilderness Connector, a missing link in an urban wildland that now connects a vast area within the city of Halifax that we hope will soon be one of Canada's first national urban parks. We've saved unique coastal wilderness and islands essential for birds, critical habitat for 55 of our most endangered species, iconic mountain wilderness in the Mabou Highlands and on the Bredor Lake, freshwater wilderness on the beloved St. Mary's River, and expansion of the beloved Halifax Backlands, to name a few. 80 spectacular wild places protected forever. These new conservation lands protect unique landscapes and ecosystems, safeguard critical homes for wildlife, and preserve essential corridors between protected spaces. They're protected for nature and for all of us, providing wonderful places to hike and paddle and explore, and much needed access to our treasured coastline. They sustain the essential services that nature provides, from sequestering carbon and preventing floods to filtering pollution from our air and water. To achieve twice the wild, in 2020, we launched an ambitious campaign to raise $20 million, by far our most ambitious campaign ever. And we were astounded by the outpouring of community support. And this happened at the beginning of a global pandemic. The Sobey family, through the David and Faye Sobey Foundation and Paul and Marcia Sobey, played a pivotal role in launching the campaign. Their incredible $1 million gift was game-changing. It created momentum, credibility, excitement, and it was a catalyst for public support for nature conservation that continues to this day. Our largest corporate partner, Michelin Corporate Foundation, followed with more than $300,000 in support. And then community members from across Nova Scotia and beyond stepped up to bring us to the campaign goal of $5 million in just over 1 year. And then we were able to take that community funding of $5 million and leverage almost more than $20 million in government funding to save nature in Nova Scotia. The Government of Canada recognizes the scale and severity of our crises facing the planet. Their commitment to protect 30% of Canada by 2030 and the historic investments they've made in land conservation were absolutely foundational for Twice the Wild. The province stepped up too, legislating to protect 20% of Nova Scotia by 2030 and renewing their investment in the Nova Scotia Crown Share Land Legacy Trust, a major funding source for Twice the Wild. Municipalities like Halifax joined the cause, collaborating on and funding projects like the Blue Mountain Birch Cove Lakes Wilderness. And finally, Twice the Wild benefited from truly unprecedented collaboration and partnership between all levels of government, Environment Canada and Parks Canada and Nova Scotia Environment, municipalities, land trusts, Mi'kmaq, and other conservation partners, all working together in ways we never have before to maximize our collective impact on saving nature in Nova Scotia. Nova Scotians care passionately about the land, they're concerned for the future of nature, but while dire and sometimes overwhelming news surrounds us, there is hope, and there is something every Nova Scotian can do for nature. And together we did. We've just saved twice the wild for Nova Scotia. To our conservation partners and our funders and our donors and landowners, our most heartfelt thanks to all of you.
Thank you, Bonnie. We are so pleased to be celebrating this conservation success together with key partners who made Twice the Wild possible. One major funder is the Government of Canada, and we are honored to share with you a special message from Canada's Minister of Environment and Climate Change, the Honourable Stephen Guilbeault.
Good day, everyone. My name is Stephen Guilbeault, Minister of Environment and Climate Change, and I'm here in Ottawa, on the unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people. Je suis très heureux de me joindre à vous aujourd'hui pour cette occasion spéciale. I want to salute the Nova Scotia Nature Trust, both personally, myself, and on behalf of the Government of Canada, for achieving your ambitious goal of doubling your protected lands across Nova Scotia by 2025. That's more than 30,000 acres of protected lands through the province. I'm so impressed. This is a spectacular achievement, and I want to recognize that this achievement was made possible by thousands of hours work done by the Nature Trust and its network of communities and volunteers. It means millions of dollars invested by the Nature Trust and its partners. And we're grateful to be able to support such an endeavor, a truly great milestone in the nature conservation for Canada and for all Nova Scotians. I fully understand all the efforts, time and collaboration that went into your achievement. The Government of Canada continues our work towards conserving 30% of lands and waters across Canada by 2030, as agreed upon in the historic Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework at COP15. Expanding conserved and protected natural areas is one of the most important actions that we can take. C'est ce que nous devons faire si nous voulons freiner la perte de biodiversité, soutenir les espèces en péril et lutter contre les changements climatiques. Let's keep working together to achieve our ambitious goals to protect nature and keep wildlife thriving for generations to come.
Thank you, Minister Guilbeault, for those inspiring words of support. The Nature Trust and the province of Nova Scotia have been working closely as partners for decades, bringing together our complementary strengths and conservation tools to advance nature conservation, and that collaboration continues to grow. I am delighted to welcome the Honourable Tim Hallman, Nova Scotia's Minister of Environment and Climate Change. Minister. Thank you.
Councillors Tony Mancini, Pam Lovelace, MLA for Timberlea Prospect, Ian Rankin, former Premier of Nova Scotia and former Minister of Environment and Climate Change and Natural Resources and LNU Affairs, and a number of portfolios that Ian has had over the years. I have a note here in my binder. It says, I love the mayor. I love the mayor, Tim H. Maybe that's Tim Houston or Tim Hallman. Before I get into my remarks, I want to take a moment, folks, and publicly acknowledge the tremendous, outstanding leadership this gentleman has shown HRM the past 12 years. Mayor, you are the embodiment of public service, and on behalf of all of Nova Scotia, thank you for your service to HRM. Thank you for your service to Nova Scotia. I brought an entire entourage here today from Environment and Climate Change, and many of you at the Nature Trust know my colleagues very, very well. Bonnie, you mentioned partnership, and it really is a partnership. And many of you at the Nature Trust, you have a great relationship with the Deputy Minister of our department, Laura McEachran, our Associate Deputy Minister, Andrew Murphy. We have executive directors with us, Lynn Bowen and Janet McKinnon. We have our Director of Protected Areas with us, and from the Premier's Office, Craig Smith is with us, and from the Premier's Office, we have Leah Martin. So it is a team effort in what we do in land and water conservation, and as I said, many of you I know have a great relationship with my team. It's such an honor to join you today to celebrate this amazing moment, to highlight the great work of the Nature Trust. Premier Houston sends his congratulations and his best wishes. He would have loved to have been here to celebrate with you today, but had a previous commitment. But I can tell you he is very proud of what you have accomplished. Today is a great day for nature in Nova Scotia, and it's a great day for the people of Nova Scotia. Bonnie and your team, congratulations. Folks, let's be clear, it's leadership like this, the team effort like this, that solidifies Nova Scotia's reputation as a national leader in land conservation. My federal colleague, Minister Guilbeault, just highlighted the partnership that's required. And I want to take a moment and thank Minister Guilbeault. He was absolutely instrumental in Nova Scotia and Canada securing the nature agreement. And I have to say, I was with him at COP15 in Montreal on the biodiversity. He was absolutely instrumental in getting that global framework. So it really is a partnership. As many of you are aware, one of the first things we did upon forming government in 2021 is pass the Environmental Goals and Climate Change Reduction Act. And in those 28 legislated targets, one of them is the 20% by 2030 land conservation target. We're the only jurisdiction in Canada that has land conservation targets as law. It's an ambitious target, we know that, but one that we must achieve for many, many reasons. Following the passage of that legislation, the Government of Nova Scotia put forward the Nova Scotia Climate Plan, 68 goals to be implemented over the next 5 years, a fully funded plan. 5 of those actions in the climate plan are related to land and water conservation. We're currently at 13.5% land and water protected, and now over the next 6 years, we have a laser focus on protecting the remaining 6.5%. And there's no doubt that there are many demands on our land and water. We have many demands for homes in a time of unprecedented population growth. We have huge demands for renewable energy. Just in the last year and a half, my department's approved 10 onshore wind farms, which by 2027, 2028 will deliver clean, affordable, renewable energy to thousands of Nova Scotian homes. We have demands for public infrastructure, healthcare services, new schools, and so on. But I want to be clear, as this growth and transformation continues, and in HRM, this gentleman here was instrumental in getting that energy going, it's even more important than ever to protect more areas in perpetuity. And that is what we collectively must continue to do. And that's why a few months ago we announced the Collaborative Protected Areas Strategy for Nova Scotia, the roadmap for all of us. This strategy will now guide us forward to achieve the remaining 6.5%. Many approaches are needed to get us there. For example, continuing the work to designate the protected areas from the 2013 Parks and Protected Areas Plan, more private land protection, IPCAs, Indigenous Protected Conservation Areas led by the Mi'kmaq to represent an important and growing approach to land conservation in Nova Scotia. As the Mayor and the former Premier knows, when you're in a privileged position like this, there's moments that stand out. And one of, I guess, the most powerful moments I had as a minister was signing a co-governance agreement with Glooscap for an Indigenous protected conservation area. It is a bold, important path forward as we conserve more land and we all work together towards reconciliation. We have to think outside of the box. We have to explore the opportunities that come with effective area-based conservation measures, or OECMs. When I was with Minister Guilbeault for COP15 in Montreal, the team and I had an opportunity to attend a seminar to learn about OECMs, other effective conservation measures, and this has been a point of discussion at the federal provincial table. Next week, when the Deputy and I are in Ottawa representing Nova Scotia, we'll have an opportunity to speak with Minister Guilbeault and our federal colleagues about the further role of OECMs in our land and water conservation targets. By strategically working together, we need to maximize funding from the new Canada-Nova Scotia Nature Agreement, much of which will flow to private conservation organizations like the Nova Scotia Nature Trust. There's a lot that we can be proud of as a province. Just in the last year, we preserved Archibald Lake and Island Lake wilderness areas, and we recently secured $10 million in federal funding to acquire and conserve old-growth forests on private land to protect hemlock forests from the hemlock woolly adelgid. And we can be proud that 13.1% of Nova Scotia's coastline is currently protected from development inside provincial and national parks, wilderness areas, nature reserves, national wildlife areas, and on land owned and managed by conservation land trusts and Mi'kmaq organizations. And we have committed to increasing this percentage as part of our goal to protect 20% of the province's land and water by 2030. We can be proud that Nova Scotia has a national urban park on our horizon, maybe the first such in Canada, and so much more. But we will not rest on our laurels. There is a lot of work ahead of us to reach 20%. We all acknowledge the challenges, but also the opportunities that come with that bold target. Government cannot achieve the 20% on its own. Ongoing collaboration is absolutely critical between organizations like yours, Bonnie, our municipalities, the federal government, and of course the province. We're so fortunate in Nova Scotia to have many national and international regarded conservation organizations doing outstanding work. Organizations, of course, like the Nova Scotia Nature Trust, Ducks Unlimited, the Nature Conservancy of Canada, municipalities, and many, many others. That is why we invested an additional $20 million just over a year ago to the Nova Scotia Crown Share Legacy Trust to make sure the work to acquire and protect private and donated land continues. I truly believe that together we're doing great things, accomplishments that will protect our most valuable places. It will help fight climate change, ensure we have clean drinking water and air, improve human health and well-being, strengthen biodiversity, and so much more. In closing, I want to thank the Nova Scotia Nature Trust for their leadership. I want to thank you for your vision and the incredibly important work that you do. Every milestone is a testament to the power of collective action. As we move forward, let us carry every milestone and achievement with us to motivate us, to inspire us, and remind us of our shared accountability to the planet, to the species we share this planet with, and to each other. So today we celebrate. Tomorrow, I know we'll all be back hard at work. 20% by 2030 is a journey. And of course, there will be peaks and valleys and turns in the roads like any journey, but we have a solid roadmap with the Collaborative Protected Areas Strategy. And we're together on this journey. We've built relationships, each of us carrying a part of the load to get to that 20%. And I know there are days like today for us to pause and celebrate success. And to me, that sounds like the formula for a successful journey. Bonnie and your team, congratulations. And I can't wait to see what you'll do next. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Hallman, and thank you to the province of Nova Scotia for being such a great partner in conservation. Thanks to the leadership and vision of Mayor Mike Savage, we have been working closely with the Halifax Regional Municipality in advancing Twice the Wild through urban wildlands conservation. We are honored to welcome His Worship Mike Savage, Mayor of Halifax, to the podium.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Bonjour à tous. Gway, Jalazi, Weli, Exitbug. Delighted to be here in Jabuktuk, in Mi'kma'ki, with so many other folks. So, Minister Holman, thank you very much. We practically live together. He's down the street in the rich end of our neighborhood, and I'm up the road a bit. Former Premier and Minister of all the things he said, Ian Rankin. My colleagues on council, Pam Lovelace and Tony Mancini, good to see you. I actually did see the minister's notes. Somebody did scrawl on there, I love Mayor Savage. Tony, you shouldn't be doing that to people's notes. It's not fair. Bonnie, corporate partners, Deloitte, Michelin, and others. I see Craig here. Craig, I think the first time we met, was it maybe the Shaw Wilderness? I can't remember exactly what it was. Were you with CPAWS? You were with the Conservancy anyway. And I remember the first time I think that I met with Bonnie, and we met many times on a number of issues. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of people you meet in politics and government and trying to make better community. And Bonnie, you're one of the most effective in a almost a low-key but passionate way. You are a powerful force in this province. And I got folks here from HRM. Wave, everybody. Say hi to the folks at HRM who love nature and want to keep it as wild as we possibly can. And I got is B here? I saw B. McGregor was here. She's the, oh, there she is. I just want to let you know, August, when is the Rock the Dock thing, Harbor?
16th, 17th, 18th.
August 16th, 17th, and 18th. What's that?
Nazareth, 18th.
Okay. Nazareth. I don't know if you guys didn't, anybody go to the what's it called, Tony? Rock the Harbor? Last year, it was amazing last year, but this year, Nazareth's coming, one of my favorite bands from when I was extraordinarily young. And don't let anybody tell you that they were a one-hit wonder with Love Hurts, because this flight tonight is one of the great rock songs of all time. I think I'm done. No, I want to just say what a treat it is to be here to share this remarkable announcement by the Nature Trust, which really is a force for good in this province. I think I was with you in 2020, possibly, when a much different time to help launch Twice the Wild, a bold effort to double the amount of Nova Scotia that was protected for nature. At that time, the pandemic was teaching us the great lesson in valuing the natural world. In fact, I remember early on in COVID, like a few weeks in, Dr. Strang called me and he said, Mayor, we got to get people out in wilderness for their mental health. Could you do a video? So I went up to the Dingle Park and I did a video. We released it on the Saturday. And on Sunday, you guys closed the parks the next day because people were all going to the same places and all that stuff. Boy, I remember that. By the way, do you know there's, Pam or Tony, 900 and some parks and trails in HRM. So when you close the parks and trails, it's a lot of work for our folks. But you know what? We learned a lot. That the pace of development in the Halifax region has intensified, which underscores the need for us to work together to preserve the important tracts of wilderness. For our own mental and physical well-being, obviously for wildlife habitat, and to help meet our climate commitments. So I'm really proud of the progress that Council and our staff have made, and I never want to forget our staff are very committed to this. Along with partners, the Nature Trust, federal and provincial governments, and many, many stakeholders in protecting incredible still wild areas, like the 100 Wild Islands, which may have been the first time that we met, and I will remember going out and having a look at these islands up close and being forever changed in the way that I saw that. Most recently, we announced the purchase of 4 more parcels of land, totaling 46 hectares located to the west of the Shaw Wilderness Park in Halifax. The municipality intends to use most of this land to add to Shaw Wilderness Park, providing additional opportunities for wilderness recreation and the appreciation of our natural surroundings. HRM's Green Network Plan also speaks to our municipality's commitment to managing open space and maintaining sustainable ecosystems for the future. Building and maintaining an interconnected network of open spaces ensures the protection of viable populations and ecosystems to provide things like fresh drinking water, clean soil, and improved air quality. Outdoor recreation is also a key theme in the Green Network Plan. Parks and open spaces provide opportunities for activity, as well as representing cultural and community characteristics. As I travel to talk about our municipality and to encourage people to come here to live, for years I've shown slides of the intensification of downtown, but I've always showed slides of wilderness that will never change. And to me, that's the key in municipalities like ours, is to bring more people in. We can have complete communities outside of the core of the city. We can intensify the core of the city. I well remember when HRM Alliance came together before the 2012 election when I became mayor, which seems like a different world. But those were the focuses. Like, let's bring people here. Let's intensify where people live, which we continue to do through the Housing Accelerator Fund. But let's also understand that people need spaces. You can't build communities at a housing crisis. A crisis is a terrible thing to waste. As we're building, let's not just build units to store people, but communities where people can really live. And one of the keys to that is maintaining wild spaces as much as we possibly can. So Bonnie, congratulations to you, to the Nova Scotia. Oh, we have a winner from the MPI last night. Where's the winner from last night? Over there. Congratulations. Won a big. How long you been with the Nature Trust?
A few months.
A few months. She won an award last night at Meeting Professional International. Nice job. So as we continue to build our city, let's recognize what's really important. And if we lose these spaces, they will never come back. So congratulations to the Nature Trust, to the partners and the supporters for making today's exciting news possible. This will pay big dividends for all of us in the generations to come. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. And Walalia.
Thank you, Mayor Savage. We are also grateful to our corporate partners who stepped up to support Twice the Wild, including our lead corporate donor, the Michelin Corporate Foundation. I am honored to introduce the President of Michelin Canada, Andrew Much.
Well, this is exciting, for sure. Good morning, Minister Hallman, Mayor Savage. It's good to see you again, Mr. Rankin, and all the other special guests who've been able to join us here this morning to mark this very happy occasion. It's truly a pleasure to be here with you today. On behalf of Michelin Canada and the Michelin Corporate Foundation, I want to express our heartfelt thank you to the Nova Scotia Nature Trust for the incredible work that you've done. Your commitment to protecting and preserving these ecologically important and sensitive places of our province over the past 25 years is nothing short of remarkable. We're so pleased to be able to support that work in a small way. Michelin has deep roots in Nova Scotia. Rather important statement relative to the event that we're having today. We do have deep roots. And we recognize one of the things that makes our province unique is the access to these wonderful areas, natural areas and sensitive areas right in our own backyard. Biodiversity is essential to a healthy planet. It gives us the clean air that we breathe, the fresh water that we drink, and the fertile soils, all of which are actually very important that we rely on daily. But beyond that, as Mayor Savage pointed out, nature plays a significant role in the lives of Nova Scotians, including Michelin families and our employees. Green spaces offer a place to relax, unwind, and connect with our loved ones. Imagine a weekend spent hiking in the forest, kids playing in a park, or having a picnic by a clear lake. My special times are when I can get together with my grandkids and we can spend time chasing dragons in the woods or looking at pools of water to find all the little creatures that live in there, turning over rocks to find salamanders or other special things that we get to do in nature and we can take for granted if we're not careful. It's these moments of joy and relaxation that contribute to a happier and healthier community. By investing in the Nova Scotia Nature Trust and Twice the Wild, Michelin Canada and the Michelin Corporate Foundation are investing in these crucial natural resources and creating a sustainable and prosperous future for everyone and for the generations to come. So please join me in congratulating Bonnie and Chris and all the other Nova Scotia Nature Trust team on this exciting and vital milestone that they've achieved. The work you're doing will ensure that all Nova Scotians, and come from a ways, can enjoy these spaces for the generations to come. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Andrew, for Michelin's generous campaign support and for your kind words. And again, to all of you, all of our partners, for being here and for all that you've done to help us protect Twice the Wild. We know that nature has been there for us when we needed it most, and today we're giving back. We're celebrating giving back to nature in a really big way. Saving Twice the Wild for today, and as a number of you have said, for tomorrow. We're giving the gift of nature to generations to come. So a little thank you now from the future generations.
This is my world. It might seem small, but there is a lot I can do. I can discover. I can create. I can be brave. I can ask questions. Sometimes I can find answers. I can make rainbows. I can even fly. But I know there's a bigger world waiting for me. When I am twice as fast. When I am twice as strong. When I am twice as tall. When I can be twice as quiet. When I am twice as patient. When I can see twice as far. When I'm twice as determined to see everything nature can show me, I know that it will be waiting for me. Thank you for making sure that Nova Scotia has twice the wild today. Because when I'm twice as big, I'll be ready to help keep it wild forever.
Zoom in too close, you're going to see my tears. But it is a remarkable reminder of why we do what we do, and it is so important. So we should all feel really good about what we've achieved. It is protecting Twice the Wild is this remarkable thing for Nova Scotia and for Nova Scotians. And with that immense goal now achieved, a good long rest would be well deserved, but not for the Nature Trust. We simply can't stop. Nature needs us now more than ever, so you can depend on the Nature Trust to step up once again for nature. So watch for news of our next ambitious campaign coming soon. And for now, thank you again for helping.